زملائي وزميلاتي، تحية طيبة وبعد. أود أن أرحب بكم وأن أشكركم على متابعتكم لنا اليوم عبر هذا الويبينار لريلايبيليتي ويب. أنا اسمي ليث الفقيه، ويسعدني أن يكون معنا اليوم السيد تيرنس أوهانلون، المدير العام والرئيس التنفيذي لريلايبيليتyweb.com والناشر في مجلة أبتايم ماجازين. وأيضا معنا السيدة مورا عباد، منسقة العلاقات الدولية لريلايبيليتyweb.com. سأترككم الآن مع مورا، والتي ستخبركم عن آخر الأحداث والمستجدات لريلايبيليتyweb.com، وبخاصة عن المؤتمر الدولي للصيانة الذي سيحدث في كانون أول ديسمبر 2015. Maura?
Thank you, Leigh. Dear all, as Leigh mentioned, this is very special to us. It's an honor to connect with you all. We want to let you know as ReliabilityWeb.com, we're located in Fort Myers, Florida, 2 hours from Miami. And certainly we invite you when you're in the area to visit our facilities. Our mission is make maintenance professionals safer and more successful, applying the triple bottom line of economic prosperity, social responsibility, and environmental sustainability. We do several events in the United States, and in December from the 7th through 11th, we're going to be having in Bonita Springs, Florida, our 30th International Maintenance Conference, INC 2015. We will have days in English, Spanish, and for the first time in Arabic. We want to invite you all to submit your abstract for you to share knowledgeable information. You just go to www.maintenanceconference.com. You click INC 2015 and you submit your abstract. Our events are based in our framework called Uptime Elements, a reliability framework for asset performance. Leigh.
شكرا لك مورا. بالفعل هذه أخبار شيقة وفرصة رائعة للتقديم خلال هذا المؤتمر الدولي. والآن نترككم مع السيد تيرنس أوهانلون، والذي سوف يقوم بشرح منظومة عناصر الجهوزية Uptime Elements Framework. Terry?
Leigh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and be able to address everyone. Maura, thank you for the introduction, and welcome to our webinar, where we're briefly going to explain Uptime Elements, a reliability framework for asset performance. We're very much looking forward to meeting you at IMC, where we will be offering the Certified Reliability Leader exam offered by the Association for Maintenance Professionals that is based around Uptime Elements, a reliability framework for asset performance. So as I mentioned, this is the framework, Uptime Elements, a reliability framework for asset performance management. It's basically organized into 4 what we call knowledge domains: reliability engineering for maintenance in the orange, asset condition management in the green, work execution management in the blue, and leadership for reliability. At its simplest level, it's 29 elements, activities around reliability that you have to do well almost all the time to have good levels of asset performance. Although it's dangerous to think of reliability in terms of a recipe, because it's so highly dependent on the people, on their maturity level, on the skills, on the leadership in the plant, and the other interconnected relationships of all the people in the plant. So what works in one plant may not exactly work in another, although the framework is very flexible and allows you to adapt it to almost any cultural or maturity level in any industry. What we basically do is we start with a concept called AIM. And AIM is the reason that your organization exists. W. Edward Deming said an aim must never be expressed in terms of methods. It should always be expressed in terms of how the world is better for everyone. So in essence, again, AIM is like organizational objective, as they call it in ISO 55001. And it's the reason that your organization is in business. Once we know that, we can then begin in the orange to do some study, to do some planning and some consideration. We do call this a holistic framework, and we think all of the knowledge domains and all of the individual elements are very important. But we say that orange is the most important of the knowledge domains because that's the only domain where you can systemically reduce equipment failure. You can do condition monitoring at a high level, you can do work execution at a high level, and you can have leadership at a high level, but to systemically reduce failures, you'll need to work in the orange. So once we understand the aim of the organization, we take criticality analysis as our starting point because it's important for us with limited resources and limited budgets to be able to apply our efforts in the most important and critical areas. So we use criticality analysis to understand what assets are critical in the delivery of that aim. Then we use techniques, discipline, problem solving, and failure analysis techniques like reliability-centered maintenance, failure modes and effects analysis, PM optimization, and root cause analysis to have a clear understanding of the way those critical assets can fail. And as a result of knowing the criticality, and as a result of knowing the way that those critical assets can fail, we can develop a maintenance strategy to defeat failure. Failure is our enemy in this instance. And as Sun Tzu, the author of Art of War, written 5,000 years ago, and in my opinion, one of the best books about reliability ever written, said, understand your enemy. And in our instance, our enemy is failure. And we use orange to understand it very well and create what I like to refer to as a maintenance strategy, a maintenance plan, some people call it, or a set of maintenance tasks to defeat failure, to either eliminate the failure from occurring or to minimize the effect when the failure does occur. Once we have a maintenance strategy, we're likely to utilize advanced condition monitoring, very much the same way that a doctor uses all types of medical tests to listen to your breathing, to test your blood, to get an x-ray to look inside to see if everything is okay. We use advanced condition monitoring technologies to understand the health of our assets and to get an early warning of an incipient failure that might develop in the asset. So we use what we call the big five condition monitoring technologies: vibration analysis, oil analysis, ultrasound, infrared, motor testing, and we use non-destructive testing to cover all of the areas in stationary, rotating, and electrical equipment where we can use these sensing technologies to develop an incipient failure. And the reason we want to detect this early is because then we're in control of our destiny. In other words, we can plan and schedule the intervention, make sure we have the right parts, make sure we have the right skilled crafts available, make sure we have the machine available. The other concepts that come out of the green asset condition management is precision lubrication, always starting with clean, dry, compatible lubricant, and working to a precision standard for alignment and balancing standards of all your rotating equipment, both new equipment and repaired equipment being put back into service, having trained technicians that are given ample time to create precision balanced and precision aligned equipment. We call precision approach defect elimination because it stops the defect from entering into the system, so you shouldn't have to detect it out using these advanced condition monitoring technologies in the future. Like green, by the way, all of the activities in the green should be directed by the failure modes and the failure causes that you discovered when you were doing the failure analysis in the orange. Likewise, as you develop your maintenance strategy in the orange and the set of maintenance tasks you're going to do to either minimize the effects of failure or defeat the failure altogether, you need an efficient and effective way to execute that work, and that's what comes out of blue, work execution management, where we have PM to do scheduled inspection and scheduled servicing tasks to equipment, planning and scheduling where we can technically plan the job and the parts and the skills and the safety requirements of the job, and then we can schedule it to ensure that the equipment is available to us at the right time efficiently. MRO spare parts is where we have stores of repair parts and consumable items that we will need to conduct effective maintenance reliability interventions. CMMS is the computerized maintenance management system that we use to administer our maintenance program. It's the accounting system, in essence, of maintenance reliability, where we can track our maintenance labor, we can track our maintenance material and consumables that we use. However, the biggest part of the value of the computerized maintenance or enterprise asset management system is understanding the failure codes, the failure modes, and the failure causes, and the failure remedies that are used on your equipment, because then you can feed that information back to your reliability engineers back in the orange, so they can continue to iterate and improve, maybe extend the periodicity, maybe reduce the periodicity, maybe replace a time-directed task with a condition-directed task, to continually improve the maintenance tasks to assure reliability. We also use a more expanded version of defect elimination, in essence empowering cross-functional teams to solve the problems in their own area that don't require any capital expenditure or management of change and can be done in less than 90 days. That also builds a culture of reliability by using defect elimination. We also like to encourage, if you do have a stable work execution management environment, to enable operators to take some frontline responsibility for the equipment that they're operating. That's what we call operator-driven reliability. Of course, the thing that ties all three of those knowledge domains together is what we call leadership for reliability. That includes an understanding and communication of what is value, and operation excellence simply acknowledges what that value is and an understanding of when that value breaks down and how to fix it. Physical asset management is basically the same concept, value from assets, although it's really conducted by policy, strategy, and plan over the entire asset life cycle. KPIs are the improvement indicators, the measurements we're going to use, both the leading and the lagging measurements. The leading measurements to drive new behaviors so that we can add value to asset performance and improve our assets performance, and the lagging indicators, which are our score, which are the outcomes that show us that we're making progress in improving asset performance. Human capital management is having the right people in the activities that we need them in, and competency-based learning is those right people with the right competencies and a long-term plan and framework to improve on the competencies that are in the workforce. Of course, we need executive sponsorship, not just tacitly blessing or supporting our reliability effort. We need them actually having an intellectual understanding and be out amongst us so that they know what we're trying to do on their behalf to ensure reliability. Because reliability is not optimized on a 90-day financial basis, and we need an enlightened executive who can drive the support of the reliability program through, even when short-term numbers may not indicate a continued investment. Remember, with any kind of an improvement effort, but especially a reliability improvement effort, things will get worse before they get better, and you need an executive to drive through that bumpy period. Last but not least is the concept of integrity in leadership, which certainly we all jump to the first meaning, which is a mechanical integrity. And of course, we need mechanical integrity. The second thing that jumps into most people's head is data integrity, and of course, we need data integrity. But we're referring to a different kind of integrity that relates to performance, and that's the integrity of keeping your word and doing what you say you're going to do. That's something fully within your own control. And so if you've ever worked with somebody who didn't keep their word, I just ask you to consider whether that had a degrading effect on performance. And I think you would agree that it does. And we're certainly not here to talk to you about integrity from an ethical or a moral point of view. We're here to talk to you about it from a performance point of view. And we're saying that just keep your word, because there's a direct relationship between reliability and integrity. And if you, for some reason, are unable to keep your word, people will forgive you. You just need to clean up the mess you made by not keeping your word at the earliest, not the latest, at the earliest possibility. And then people will respect you, you restore your word, and you get back to work. We, of course, want to practice all 4 of these knowledge domains across the entire asset life cycle. So in other words, all the way from business analysis, asset planning, asset design, asset creation, the typical operate and maintain phase where normally we are conducting reliability activities, and end of life such as modify, upgrade, or dispose. Not simply limiting this activity to the operate and maintain phase, which in all actuality is an end of asset life activity. So we use this framework. As I said in the beginning, it looks like a simple recipe, but we warn you against using a recipe approach in reliability because there's a lot of variables, and the biggest variable is called people. So we also, though, use it to engage and empower leaders at all levels of your organization. Successful organizations know that results come from leadership, but performance will only be delivered through an engaged and empowered workforce. Nothing's more true than that in the area of reliability. So we use this as an engagement and empowerment tool for all the stakeholders in reliability, including procurement, including operations, including engineering and senior management. Operations is not a maintenance activity. Reliability is not a maintenance activity. It is an enterprise initiative, and everybody must have an awareness of how holistic and complex the solutions are. We try to make it simple with this framework. At a level right above that, we use it as a transformation tool to give each individual a personal and direct connection to what reliability is and where reliability comes from. And I hope that you'll consider coming in and joining us in this work, because we're hearing some fantastic practices from the region, and we want to learn from you. We want to share what we know with you, and we want to find out what we can do together. We'll put your input, we'll put our input in, and we'll see what kind of an outcome we can generate as a result of that. So please consider coming to visit us at IMC 2015, the 30th International Maintenance Conference. It'll be quite a celebration with 3 decades of maintenance reliability and asset performance and asset management behind us, and we're looking forward to meeting you and seeing you there. And if not, we'll be traveling to the region quite often, and we're looking forward to meeting you there. So thank you very much for your time and your attention, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Bonita Springs at IMC 2015. And thank you, Laith. Maura, now back to you.
Thank you very much, Terry, and I just want to remind you all to go to the www.maintenanceconference.com, click in IMC 2015, submit your abstract, and we will be looking forward to see you there. Besides, for more information that you have, please feel free to connect with me, Maura, at reliabilityweb.com. As Terry mentioned, we're going to be traveling frequently to the region, and we're looking forward to meet you in person. We have the Association for Maintenance Professionals chapter in the United States, and we'll be creating also the chapter for Middle East. In case you have questions regarding the event, conference, this case also the Middle East chapter, how can you collaborate with us, and any other questions you have, please feel free to connect with me. Leigh?
لقد سعدنا كثيرا بوجودكم معنا اليوم. شكرا لكم حسن المتابعة، ونتمنى أن نسمع منكم قريبا، مع التحية والشكر.